Because, of course, you are the opposite of whatever, a thorn between two roses. There it is, that was quick. Anyway, Alex, look, people are politically homeless. I said it to Mark Stein earlier, I'll say it again. Being asked to choose at the minute between Liz Truss and Keir Starmer is like being asked to choose which poo smells nicer.
Well, I don't agree with the premise or the way you put it. I would vote for Liz Truss each time out of those things. And actually, I feel the reverse of you. I feel like this is an exciting time in politics. And if anything, it's a time when people should feel more enlivened towards it. This is a time when people should join political parties. Look what's been going on recently with the ability to affect leadership, choose leaders, decide platforms. This is the time to join a party. I feel more enlivened about politics in this country than ever.
Good spin. Good spin. Jenny, I'll throw it over to you, TV presenter and actress Jenny Barnett. Every single time I go out on the streets, which I dare say is a lot more than a lot of our politicians, I hear the same thing. I'm politically homeless at the minute. I'm worried about that.
I think people are not losing faith in politics. They're losing faith in politicians. They are self-serving. They lie. They're corrupt. And if people are confused and they don't know where to turn because of fake news or because they've got misleading information, they don't know what's going on. And politics is life. We vote representatives to be up there to speak on our behalf. You may shake your head, but what's happening is that people are tired and fatigued by a shambles of what's going on. What's happened with this last mini budget thing, they don't know what they're blooming talking about, and we have to sit there and have to watch them make mistakes on our behalf. So it's losing faith in politicians, not losing faith in politics.
OK, well, people might disagree with whatever Liz Truss or the mini budget, and they might be U-turning on it left, right and centre, but at least they told us, for a bit anyway, what they thought about something. Lois Perry, who is director of the climate analysis group Car26, Keir Starmer is still in no danger whatsoever as telling us what he thinks about anything.
Well, I mean, you know, I agree with both of your commentators, actually, because how could anyone not be losing faith in politics and politicians at the moment? You know, with the infighting that's going on in the Tory party, you seem to have a left wing of her party, which is slightly left of Frederick Engels and Karl Marx, who won't give any support to Liz Truss whatsoever. And then you've got the globalists under Rishi Sunak who just want to see her finished under any circumstances. You know, it's absolutely disgusting. Give the woman a chance. As it stands right now, tonight, I support Liz Truss and I'm willing to give her a chance, which is more than most people in her party seem to be. But you know what? Any more U-turns, she must not be returning. She's finished. She needs to stay strong now.
This is it. Alex, now, people have put a lot of faith in this Conservative Party, especially over the time of the pandemic, because people were willing to admit it was chaos. I've obviously been critical about the exact way that we did various things there. But actually now, the way I'm looking at it, one thing that really winds me up is, I don't know if you ever played any Sunday League football, Alex, or maybe you're more of a rugby man yourself, but you'll have a captain on that team. And sometimes your captain goes through a little bit of poor form, a little bit of good form. But the worst thing you can do as a team is start slating them in public and undermining the dressing room.
Yeah.
And now I'm hearing noises coming out of the Conservative Party saying, maybe let Labour have a go for a bit. It's ridiculous, Alex.
Well, that's definitely for the birds, but I couldn't agree more with what's been said about giving a new Prime Minister a chance. Liz Truss has been in office for 40 days. I mean, it's absurd to say we should tear down another leader, and that does produce a recipe for chaos. I think that most people in this country, outside of the political bubble, actually believe in giving someone a fair go. I think they believe in giving someone a bit of space to define their time. And I think if you poll people in the country, whichever party they are, and you frame it in the terms of, you know, should you give someone an opportunity to get on with their job, or or are these attacks warranted? Most people in Britain would say, give someone who's new in post a chance. And that's all Liz Truss is asking for right now. And I think she's entitled to it.
Yeah, I agree. Jenny, I'll bring you back in because, look, you know, I've got to do a job here and, yeah, all right, Liz Truss hasn't got off to the best start and we can't deny that. However, she was given no chance by a load of people in the media when Kwasi did his thing, which was a little bit different. We've crashed the economy. We've shattered the economy. It's disaster. They're addicted to disaster, Jenny.
She's been in politics and government for years and years. And if you look at the Peters principle, which is what's happening here, she has risen to the level of her own incompetence. And that's what's happening. We have a government who don't know what they're doing. She smiles, she wears a hat, she wanders around, but she's self-serving. She doesn't give a tuppence about us.
OK, all right, Lois
Yeah.
Perry here, who is director of the climate analysis group Car26. I'll tell you what I think would be a pretty quick vote winner, despite what you might hear in a lot of the media, which is the person who biffs off this net zero agenda and starts fracking and starts putting money in local communities' pockets.
Well, absolutely. And this just shows how out of touch a lot of the Tories that are trying to undermine Liz Truss actually are. I mean, our polling that we did when she was doing the leadership contest showed that 70% of Conservative voters actually wanted at least a pause, if not a scrap, of net zero policies. So Conservative voters don't want net zero. 52% of all voters don't want net zero. And if you looked at all the hustings that she did throughout her whole leadership campaign, whenever fracking was mentioned, because that's our energy independence, the biggest cheer went up. So I totally agree with you. She must not listen to any of the naysayers in her party. She needs to get fracking. She needs to get rid of all the local legislation in terms of planning and stuff like that, so it can be easily overturned. And maybe even look at a net zero referendum. Who knows?
Good, I like that. The net zero lot can frack right off as far as I'm concerned. Alex Dean now, isn't the solution staring her right in the face? Be a Conservative, sort out immigration, put money in people's pockets and get out of people's lives as much as you possibly can. Just be a Conservative.
Well, I certainly agree that immigration's a bright line test for this government, and it can't go on not delivering on stopping small boats coming from the North French coast, a safe country, by the way, because the electorate will hold them to account. But the one thing she does have, as long as people don't tear her down precipitously, is that we've got 2 years until a general election, and she can prove herself or not, and then the people can have their say in a general election. And I think that's a reasonable test. But on the broader point, I would just gently make the point that the mini budget, so-called, that Kwasi Kwarteng handed down, was profoundly conservative. That was the government aiming for a smaller state. That was the government trying to lower taxes and get out of people's lives.
Alex, that's a really good point, and that brings me on to this, Jenny, because unfortunately the establishment was there. The establishment reared its head. Oh, we can't possibly have something different. We can't possibly have something that goes against the status quo. What happens? We crash the pound. We're being told it's going to be all doom-mongery. We're being told we're all going to be poor. And now we've got U-turns back to the same old status quo and what we were skint before, and it will make us more skint again, instead of going for growth and backing Britain, Jenny.
I think that weirdly is an irrelevance. We have a world that's dying. We have 94% of our wildlife dying. We have the Amazon dying. We have bees dying. And you're talking about who's got the best job in the world, in our country, when the world is dying. And if you talk about zero this and zero that and fracking,
people will be dying if they can't afford to heat their homes or buy food. That needs to be the priority. People, actually.
We won't have a world that we can argue about.
Nonsense,
if we don't
absolute nonsense.
Oh, well, I don't think it's nonsense.
Yeah, well, it is.
Right, well, I'll give the final word to Alex then. Alex, do you think there's any chance whatsoever that Liz Truss can actually rescue this? Because, you know, it's not looking too good at the minute, bless her.
The Conservative Party has long shown that in the absence of a meaningful opposition, it will create one for itself. And that's what we've been going through of late. Right? But I still don't think the electorate, when faced with the choice, will prefer Keir Starmer and a really, with his polite face on it, socialist platform. In the end, I believe that Liz Truss can deliver another Conservative majority.
OK, I tell you what we're going to do. We're going to do very quick fire, Jenny. We're going to do very quick fire, OK? Yes, I know. Very quick fire. It's a yes or no. Jenny, I'll start with you and I'll work my way down the line, OK? Yes or no, will Liz Truss be in charge, leading the Tories into the next general election? Jenny?
No.
Alex?
Yes.
Oh, there we go, the decider. Lois?
Yes, but no more U-turns. The lady must not be for turning again.